Okay, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to scan this roll of film. And I know I said that this series was going to be about printing on the enlarger, and that will be the next stage. But I'm just going to do scan to the computer first, so I can have a look at the prints. Obviously, if this was done purely analog, what I'd be looking at doing is doing a contact sheet. I don't think I could probably make a contact printer out with a piece of glass and whatever, but I want to scan this film anyway. So this is the film that was in the last video. As a general rule, if you see this, if you see that the blank film with no photographs on it is nice and clear, and the leader is black, that's a good sign. If the leader is black, that means that the developer has done its work in converting all of the lights to black silver. If the clear area was slightly fogged or darkened, that means it's been overdeveloped, or the film's old, or it's been subjected to X-ray or something. And if the leader is not black but a murky grey, then that might be because the developer was weak again, something like that. But anyway, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this film up into sections with 5 pictures each, just to make it more manageable. And I'm just going to be using a pair of scissors to do this job. Okay, so that's now done. So I'm going to do the scanning. Now the scanning I'm going to use today is a very old machine, a PrimeFilm 1800u. Now this machine is not actually compatible with the latest Windows computer. What I'm going to actually do is I'm going to use this Apple machine and then load up XP, because XP is the system that it works with. Oops. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to power up this scanner, and the light bulbs come on. This glass panel that's in here gets mucky quite easily, gets dust on it, and unfortunately the only way I've been able to clean it is to remove these 3 screws underneath, remove the assembly and give it a clean, which I've done earlier. Okay, so that's nice and clean, so that should be good. Right, so let's get me first negatives out. Let's have a look what we've got here. Seeing as the last video opened up with me finishing the roll of film in Durham, maybe that would be a good place to start. And there we go, there's a picture from Durham. Okay, so it just goes in the gate like so. Close the lid. Oops, sorry, close that lid. Close that lid. Close that lid. Right, so this is now running XP again. Side of view. So you should hear the scanner click in. It's usually a good idea to switch the scanner on 2 or 3 minutes before you need to use it, because it uses like a cold vacuum tube type thing, I think. And it does take quite a long time to get up to temperature. Right, so in the presets, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and set the preset for black and white, for Ilford, and for FB4 Plus. It seems to work quite well with this Kentmere 100. So the scanner is set for 1800 dots per inch, which is the best that this can do. I need to set it at 16 bits, and I need to set it to quality, and now I can preview it. The preview on this scanner is relatively fast, but it is also very noisy, which I'm sure you'll come to appreciate in a second. in there. Oh. Okay, so I have a picture which looks, I want to say, a little bit on the dark side. I need to just zoom in a bit, I think. Obviously this is going to be very, very low resolution. Yeah, I think that's a bit on the dark side. I think we could do with definitely lightening that up a bit. Okay, so let's go into image adjust. Let's go into lighter. So if I now scan it properly, it'll ask where I'm putting the documents. It'll ask me for a file name, which I'm going to put in there as today's date. It will then give us that file name with 3 trailing digits, and the first number will be 1, so that sounds about right. Leave it as TIFF, because if you don't, it takes a very long time to do the JPEG conversion for some reason. So press go. Okay, so now in theory, if I was to go into the correct folder, and it's going to be this file here. Yep, here we go. Yeah, I've got to admit that's not the most exciting picture I've ever taken, yeah, there we go. So now I've just got to do the rest of the roll and see if that comes out any better. Once you're happy with the settings, you can then just press the scan button and it will automatically scan the next picture for you. Okay, so I've scanned the pictures and I've got a bit of a problem with the camera, I believe. I'm getting a light ingress in the form of a diagonal line like that. Now, look at where that is, and then you can see it again. Right, these are early pictures. Now the early pictures don't seem to have it on. It seems to be only the later pictures that has it on. Although one of the early pictures does have this line here. Right, okay. Right, so this is the middle pictures. So you can see that there's a very faint line there. Okay. Nothing on that one. Right, now this is one where the shutter didn't actually fire, and yet there the line is. Can't see in that one. See a bit on that one. Oops, hang on. Press the wrong button. Tiny bit on that one. Okay, and that appears to be it. Right, so if we look in the camera, and this is that negative from the particularly bad one where the shutter didn't seem to fire, and yet the worst of the problem occurs. So that's basically where the negative would sit within the camera there. So the fault, as it's manifesting itself, is in the bottom here, so like coming up, and yet can't see obvious damage. The only other idea I've had is that maybe when the film gets onto this take-up spool, that the light might be getting in along this edge here, but again this velvet seal there looks good. So yes, this little camera might have some issues. Okay, so it looks like these negatives are not going to be any good for my final printing, because although I could use darkroom techniques to get rid of that burning mark on some of the negatives anyway, it's difficult, and the results won't be that good. So I'm going to find some other negatives. I've got plenty, but it's going to put a bit of a spanner in the process of these videos. Next job is to do some proper printing using the old analog enlarger. But until then, here's a slideshow of the negatives I've just scanned.